I did. Well, y'all crazy. Not just cues.
My name is Jake, and I'll be talking to you today about my senior trip and how you plan one for yourself. I know a lot of you are out of high school, but even if you're in college, you can still take a trip like this for free. And just think, like, what are some places y'all like to go? Like, cool places that y'all have always been dreaming of going. But, I mean, maybe after my speech, you'll be able to go there for free. Free? How free? But the secret's it's actually through grants. Grant organizations around the world make it possible for you to go on trips. Me and my three best friends from high school used a local grant called Noah's Gift. I'll talk about my trip later on. Noah's Gift is a grant organization located in Hernando, Mississippi, and my friend's mom found them on Facebook about 3 years ago, and we didn't really think much about it back then. But because at the time we were only in 10th grade and we didn't really know anything about senior trips. But once we were seniors, we sent them an email and asked if we could get some money for our senior trip. And it was really just for grins and giggles. We didn't really think it'd turn out good, but it turned out we were actually eligible for free money for our trip. So we started thinking of some places we could go to. So some time went on and we finally had an idea to go to the Grand Canyon. And my friend's already been, and it's a place called Havasu Pai, and it's home of like beautiful waterfalls and wildlife. But Noah's Gift had some requirements for us to meet before we were able to make our trip a reality. So the requirements for Noah's Gift, the trip had to be something adventurous. And while we were there, we had to take pictures with our shirts that they provided us that had their advertising and logo across our chest. And while we were there, we had to send them a postcard. But of course, we didn't have any problems doing this because they were giving us free money for our trip anyway. And also my friend's, his work at the time was called Grivet Outdoors. They provided a free food and Enos and stuff like that for us to use while we were on our trip, as long as we just advertised their brand and their company. And another point I'd like to make is planning these trips can take a really long time, and it took us about almost a year. Like, I remember every day just us sitting down for a few minutes, 30 minutes, just talking about what we needed and stuff like that. We had to know who was driving, what car we were taking, and where we'd stop for gas and hotels. Noah's Gift was paying for all that, but we just had to finalize everything pretty much. So April 29th, we got the call saying everything is finalized and we were all set to go on our trip in the summer. And then came June 20th in the summer. We woke up at 4 a.m. and began driving to the Grand Canyon. It was a 22-hour drive. We were gonna fly, but to rent a car, you had to be 25 years old, and at the time we were all 18, 19 years old. So June 22nd, we get to the little trailhead to start hiking down the Grand Canyon, and it was probably about 60, 70 degrees at the time. But after the day started going on, it got around 90 degrees, and it was really hot. But then it was about a 13-mile trip in all. Or down there, it was 13 miles and 13 miles back up. And then once we got down there, we had to check in and register all of our stuff. And we had to set up camp at a campsite. And next to our campsite, there was like these really beautiful waterfalls and stuff like that. And our meals we weren't allowed to have fires, but our meals were for propane tanks. But after all that, we hiked back up out and sent them a postcard. That's about it. In conclusion, it's not as impossible as you might think to start up your senior trip. It could just take a few things to do, but thank you for listening.